Hey guys, Itaewon Sammy, King of Gangnam Sammy, coming to you live and full effect. Today we're going to talk about something really interesting. 5 laws that you must know about before you come to Korea. Or if you're already here, these are some things that you really need to be aware of. I want to say thank you to everybody who is watching, who is liking, all my new subscribers who are commenting. Just walking around my neighborhood. Gonna go meet a friend for coffee today. It's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Sunday. Beautiful day. Gonna enjoy this day. Anyway, thank you to everyone who is commenting, liking, sharing, subscribing. As you can see, I'm using a new search engine optimization manager. Shout out to you, taking good care of my channel, getting me lots of new subscribers. So, 5 laws that you really need to pay attention to if you're coming to Korea. Number 1, sorry about that. Let me fix that. There we go. Number 1, most important rule or law that you need to remember when you come to Korea. And I think this is the most important one, is there is no self-defense law in Korea. Especially Americans. When you come here, you need to be aware there is no self-defense law. There is no stand your ground. It's actually the opposite. The law here is, it is your responsibility to run away from a threat. Contact the authorities. That is your duty. I've said this before. I talked about this before. And I know of an example. Foreigner is on the 3rd floor balcony, 2nd floor balcony apartment. Hears something in the middle of the night. Goes over to investigate. And he sees a Korean guy trying to break into his apartment. Korean guy's on the balcony, has a crowbar or some type of bar. They wrestle over the bar. The foreigner takes the bar, hits the guy. Guy falls off the balcony, breaks his leg. The foreigner spent 2 years in jail. Why? The judge said, once you took the bar from him, he was no longer a threat to you. You could have withdrawn into your apartment, closed the door, locked it, and this would have never gone any further. But because of the injuries to the other guy, and he couldn't pay the blood money. I've talked about this before, where you can pay to have charges withdrawn if the other party agrees. I've told you this story before. I got hurt. Some guy pushed me at the club I was working at, punched another guy, and I got paid out $1,000,000. The other guy got punched, got 2,000 or 3,000. Anyway, that's law number 1. There is no self-defense. You gotta run away, especially when you're dealing with a Korean. Wow, it's hot today. Warm. Law number 2. What is number 2? Number 2 is there is no public anti-discrimination law in Korea. There is one in government. It's very limited to age, sex, disability, I think. I'm not sure. But the public space. So that is federal, or government offices. Public, there is no discrimination law. At my club, we could legally discriminate against anyone we wanted for whatever reason, and we did. When it came to age, you had to be over a certain age and under a certain age to get in. Sorry, I'm carrying something and it takes a little bit to switch hands. Holding a phone. I gotta get a gimbal for this because it's a fold and it doesn't have a good gimbal. Or I gotta get a YouTube camera, easier camera. But once my channel grows a little bit more, and if you can help me with that by subscribing and liking, help me get my channel out there, maybe earn a little bit to pay for some new equipment. Anyway, rule number 3. Criminal cases here, the police would rather the people deal with it than put it into the criminal justice system. So, a criminal complaint is investigated by the police and then handed over to the prosecution before any charges are filed. Unlike in America, where they arrest everybody and let the courts deal with it, here they investigate, and then within a few days they issue a decision. Not the police, the prosecutor decides whether or not to prosecute or lay charges. Now, that's in most criminal cases that a foreigner is going to get involved in. Not talking about murder or sexual assault or robbery. I'm talking about maybe simple assault, battery, theft, things like that. In most cases, it becomes a civil issue. And that's where it becomes a little bit more difficult, because civil cases here in Korea are easy, but not like in North America, where they're very easy to do. And you can get a judgment. Here, it's not that easy. It's a little bit more complex. But I'm not going to go into that. Law number 4. Law number 4 is, and this relates directly to the national security law. This is something that foreigners need to be aware about. Korea is technically in a state of war with North Korea, technically. There is something called the national security law, which allows the government to basically do what they want. One of those things is that all persons must carry identification with them at all times, and when demanded, must produce it. There is the right to refusal, but if you do, it looks bad. And unlike in North America, or America, where you have the Fourth Amendment, there is no Fourth Amendment here in Korea. It's a much different place. If you're demanded identification, you don't have to provide it, but it could cause problems because the police can hold you on other reasons. Okay, so, and especially as a foreigner with a visa, you have to carry your identification at all times. It's part of your visa. Now, Korean citizen, a little bit different, or permanent resident, they fall under a different category. Because, well, maybe a permanent resident's also visa, so I still have to carry my ID around. Law number 5. Now, here is one of the strangest laws that most North Americans or Westerners cannot wrap their heads around. And that is the slander and defamation law. In Korea, you have to be very careful about what you say, what you do. So you can see the license plate of that car. If I post this online and you can see that, technically I'm in violation and that person can sue me. I should blur out people's faces and their license plate numbers, anything identifiable in public. There is no, in America or in Western countries, there's no expectation to privacy in public. In Korea, there is. You have the right to privacy even in public. It's not you have the right to privacy, sorry. You have the right to not have your image used for any commercial purpose. Security, oh, there's cameras everywhere. Let's see. There's one down there at the end of this street. There's a camera right there. I can't see it. Right there on that yellow pole there. This building has about 3 or 4 cameras on it. Yeah, this building has about 3 or 4 cameras on it. And let's see, maybe there's a few more around here. But the city has cameras. Buildings have cameras. Cameras everywhere. But that's for security. So slander and libel. What basically that means is if you rob me, you get convicted, you go to jail. You're convicted of that crime. You're a criminal. You have a criminal record. It's public knowledge. Well, no, it's actually not, because criminals here, they never identify them. You have to have a special rule, special order from the government or from the judiciary to publish criminals' names and their image. Their faces and their voices are blurred in the media. So if I publish that you robbed me and stole money from me and you were convicted, it's the truth. It's a public record. If I wanted to find it, it's public record. If I publish that, I go to jail. And people have, because it's breaking that person's honor. If you violate their honor and reputation, you go to jail. It's serious in Korea. And one of the examples is that rumors, K-pop rumors, the agencies go after those people who are rumor mongering because it damages their reputation. So those are the top 5. I'm going to give one honorable mention to all you guys out there, which is a strange law that you guys will probably not believe, but I actually know 2 people who are in jail for this. I don't know them personally, but I know who they are. Who are in jail for this, 18 months in jail, for promising to marry a woman just so you can have private relations with her. If you do that, and it can be proven in court that that's what you did, you're guilty and you go to jail. Yeah, so there's 6, okay? Everyone, thank you again for subscribing, liking, sharing, commenting. Tell me what you think of my videos. I'm going to try to get better. I'm going to try to do more. Focus on improving and try to keep you guys entertained. If you like, please click the like button, subscribe, comment, share, hit the bell. You guys know what to do. Itaewon Sammy. King of Gangnam, Sammy. I'm out.